We have no idea when in 2025 Night Rain is going to drop, but FromSoft already made a game where night rains. Bloodborne. If you've never played Bloodborne, it's a lot like Elden Ring, except it's goth and it runs at a glorious 30 frames per second. It's about darn time we joined the Hunt, and if I'm going to Hunt, I should do it as everyone's favorite Hunter, Eileen. But even seasoned vets of Bloodborne might not realize that you can grab Eileen's gear before you beat a single boss, which means that Eileen the Crow is a secret starting class in Bloodborne. To watch these runs live, follow us on Twitch. We also play other games like Game of the Year winner Astrobot, but those videos go up on Tulok time. Tulok the Cardbarian is where we're doing all the good Magic the Gathering content, and Tulok the Barbarian is where the heavily Bloodborne-inspired D&D 5e homebrew will live. Also, like and subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm doubtful that the algorithm will be kind to us playing Bloodborne, but I would love to be proven wrong here. Now, enough shaking in our boots. A Hunter must hunt.
I drink it every morning so I can fight like the crowd. Just get out of the way. There we go.
We wake up in hospital, not in a hospital, because Bloodborne takes place in a horrifying place, London. If you still don't understand that secret starting class is just like the name of the series, I guess I'll explain that we don't get to start as Eileen in the character creator. We gotta pick that stuff up. But since we can pick it up and beat every boss with it, it might as well be a secret starting class. That's where the series name comes from. There's hardly going to be any effort whatsoever.
Are you sure about that?
On our way to find our gear, I'm killing every son of a biscuit around and letting fly their jam. Or wait, I guess biscuits are scones in London. What a backwards, terrible place to live in that must be. We'll need a few blood echoes later, which is this game's equivalent to runes, or pounds for all British sickos. Boy, I hope nobody jumps out at me. I said I hope nobody jumps out at me. Oh, I forgot about that guy jumping out at me. A core part of Bloodborne's identity is the fantastic parry system. Instead of parrying with a shield like a wuss, you parry by putting your gun under someone's chin and hitting click.
Man.
Eileen doesn't use a gun. Or at least, that's what I thought. We'll fix that later. I was wrong here, but I have to be wrong here. It'll make sense later. Say hi to Cleric Beast, and then quit out for free insight. Insight is just, oh boy, I can't really explain insight. To be honest, I don't totally get it myself. With one insight, you can level up, and I level up our vigor a little bit, even though I probably shouldn't. Creature habit. Time to get Eileen. I start by getting her slippery, and then I buy her a cocktail. She's not too pleased with that. I suppose she is working. With some strategic movement, we get shot off the board. So yeah, I know she uses a pistol writing, but for some reason, Streamfill was stupid and didn't realize that the pistol that pistoled him was a pistol. I'm an idiot, okay? Whoops. Forgot to kill the Wolfman. As we run back up and try and cheese her again, let's handle Wolfmen. Then we just kind of ring around the rosy till she falls off harder than the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. Not totally sure where she landed, so I guess we'll just fight some rats and... Oh, found her! I found her. Attempt 2, we just get stuck on some stairs, so I guess the stairs win that match. Quitting out resets her positioning, but we kind of get got here. The Hunters in this game are a lot better than you are, even more than the NPCs in Elden Ring, and Eileen is a Hunter of Hunters, so she's extra saucy. Ring around the rosy continues, this time with rats, clear out the snipers, then notice she keeps climbing the ladder. This isn't the cheese I practiced, but it is the cheese I'll take. Crow Hunter badge acquired. Now we can buy her weapon, the Blades of Mercy, and her outfit. Altogether, that's going to cost 84,000 blood echoes.
I'm broke! I'm a dead man!
So I guess while we go grind XP for pointless errands that add nothing of value to my life, why don't I tell you about today's sponsor, Boot.dev. That's right, gamers, this video is sponsored by Boot.dev, the best place to learn back-end web development. And learning back-end web development is a pretty great job. Sure beats being a Hunter in Yharnam. As a Hunter in Yharnam, it can take a while to get the blood echoes you need to level up. But according to Stack Overflow, if you're a back-end web developer, your average salary in 2023 would have been over $100,000 per year. And that sure as heck beats fighting monsters. It's comfortable work you can do from your home. Boot.dev is the best place to learn how to code because they make you write code. That's the best way to learn code. They're going to be throwing tutorials at you left, right, and center depending on which monitor you have them up on. and they're going to keep you motivated with experience points, leaderboards, or a gaming community. Whatever you need to keep you going, Boot.dev has got it for you. But Boot.dev doesn't want to take your money if coding isn't for you. That's why they offer a 30-day refund window, no questions asked. If you try it out and coding just isn't for you, that's fine. You can get the refund. You can also access all of their lessons for free. You're only paying for the extra gamified stuff, the experience points, the stuff that really keeps you motivated. But if you just want to learn code, just go to boot.dev and you can get free tutorials. Click the link in the description and enter offer code TULOK at checkout for 25% off your first month or your first year, depending on what level of subscription you want to get. I recommend trying out the free trials, seeing if it's for you, and then going for the full year, so it's a bigger discount. Again, click the link in the description for 25% off when you use offer code TULOK at checkout. Now that's enough of me on the green screen. A hunter must hunt. Okay, so I will skip most of the farming because there's just so much of it, but out of the time of the run, this is about a third of the total time. It's miserable, it's slow, it's bad, but I should mention it a little bit. The first area of Bloodborne gives you so few options to quickly gather echoes. The Chalice is not available until the Bloodstarved Beast has been properly put through the Blue Waffle Iron. We can't level up with our echoes because we need them for farming. That's what we're farming. First idea, farm John Guillotine. He's the guy with the big guillotine axe. Doing that without any levels stinks, since a missed parry is basically just dead. So let's try the puppies upstairs. They can also drop Bloodstone's Hards, which will get us to level up our weapon right away once we, get it. But that also sucks because there are 2 werewolves at the same time, and that's really, 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 really bad at low level. At least the Saw Cleaver is a really solid weapon. Good damage, decent reach. We can grab the Hunter's Set. That sells for something. Not a lot. It's barely a dent. This whole thing just stinks and makes me really wish I didn't have rules for secret starting class. There isn't really a great route, and it's just kind of making me hate the game right off the jump, which I don't want to do because I love Bloodborne, which is why we sort of bailed on recording the stream for a bit, and I just grinded off screen. It wasn't making it in the video anyway, so I recorded on the stream. I did record some of it on stream. The Game Awards were happening, and I wanted to be there when Bloodborne 2 was announced. Wait. What? Elden Ring 2? I'm so out. This isn't a standalone game. This is Elden Ring. Is it an Elden Ring MMO? Wait. What the f? I don't think it's Elden Ring 2, but it's something. What the fuck? What the shit?
I need your help.
The Nameless King? What the fuck is this? Also, like, it is clearly multiplayer intended. Everywhere you go, there are 3 people. Oh, it's the Ronnie ending canon? Next year? Excuse me? I mean, okay, close enough. Oh, also, if you were wondering about how I felt about the winner, here we go. Come on, Astrobot. Come on, you little robot. You little robot. Come on. Come on, buddy.
And the game of the year is... Astrobot!
Oh! Yes! I am so fucking happy, dude. Anyway, at this point, we had the Blades of Mercy, which goes swish, swish. Initial impression was underwhelming. You can break them in half to make them attack faster, slightly faster, not really that much faster. Punish windows in this game are tight. And speaking of tight, your proximity to the enemy must also be very tight because they're short.
Do you see that? Just in scale, but this is fine. It's completely fine.
But to be fair, they also don't do very much damage. Their speed is the only good thing about them, and it's really not that great. You need 3 to 4 hits out of this weapon to be as good as the Saw Cleaver is in 1 hit. It's twice as fast as the Saw Cleaver, but it needs to be 3 times faster at least. For the next section, we are now naked. Per the rules of Secret Starting Class, we cannot wear any armor until our armor has been found. Since we have the weapon, this run has started. I'm also not using a gun because Streamfill was a fool, thought Eileen didn't use a gun. That would have made parrying the trolls a lot easier because You need a gun to parry them. Parrying them is impossible without a gun. Oh, I guess you can use the tentacles. The tentacles also parry, but we don't have the tentacles, so okay, you're smart. We have a little mercy. With these little mercies, we can actually level them up with our bloodstone shards now. And there's a route that we can take through the sewers fighting wolfmen to get more bloodstone shards at a low drop rate. Lord knows we have plenty of time though, because we're gonna do this route about 50 times. Though I did try to fight Cleric Beast. Try being the key word there. Totally naked, it hits really hard. We don't really hit it all that hard, but we do hit it fast, and we can jump around to the side. If you're wondering why I have more bullets, it's because I hit up on the D-pad. That's how you heal in another crab's treasure. Don't know why that muscle memory is in there, but it felt more natural than hitting triangle. I'm hitting the R2s on the power stance moveset because, I don't know, because it's all right. We're actually still doing decent limb damage. There's no stance pressure in Bloodborne, so it doesn't matter that our weapons are small. Limb damage is exactly what it sounds like. Each limb on a big boss has its own health bar. You break it down, they get stunned for a second, then that limb takes extra damage after that. Somehow we live a grab, that's very, very nice. And wait, can I actually do this? Yeah, first try Cleric Beast with no clothes. I don't think we can do Gascoigne because he's about 3 times harder than the Cleric Beast, but it's nice to know that the weapons do technically work. It only takes about 5 hours collectively to get all of these runes, but then it's time for the real hours, the bird hours.
Well, everybody's heard about the bird. The bird's a winner.
Gascoigne is the first major gatekeeper, literally keeping a gate. We don't have the pistol because, again, didn't realize my mistake yet, but I'm sure this will go fine without parrying. It's not like that's how you're supposed to beat this boss. I figured out hitting the L2 with both blades out is a good combo ender. It pulls you away from the enemy you're attacking, but Papa gets us in a healing spiral when he's in the wolf form, and we have to do the run back. There are no stakes of America in this game, obviously because there's no America in this game, so every time you lose, you have to run back from the lantern, which is one of the many tiny things that could be fixed in a remake. I think there are so many more important tiny things to fix in Bloodborne than 60 FPS. Stake of Thumerica is definitely up there. Also up there, jumping. To jump in Bloodborne, you press circle while you're sprinting. With circle. Sprinting is already holding circle, then you take your thumb off of circle, tap it again to jump, which is already...
What the fuck?
The cross button, by the way, X button for humans, but apparently it's called the cross button. Learned that playing Astrobot. Yeah, they're used for gestures. Couldn't use it for a jump. You gotta be able to do your gestures. That's the thing you always want to use. Now you might think, okay, well, if you don't want to jump, don't do that button press. But it's actually hard not to. See, you want to run down the bosses by sprinting to get to them faster. Then dodge into an attack they have so you can punish them. You're presumably going to be holding down circle to sprint and then tapping it to dodge into the attack. Instead of dodging though, you just present your torso to be smashed. This also isn't like Elden Ring where it makes the bottom half of your body invincible when you jump. No, you just get punished for hitting the dodge button at the time the dodge button would have had you dodge properly. Or best case scenario, you just jump in the wrong direction and have to deal with some pretty terrible recovery frames while the boss's very punishable backside waits for your spanks unspanked. This is so much more detrimental to my enjoyment of the game than a 30 FPS frame rate. We get Gascoigne on the second try. It's a nice first fight to get the feel of Bloodborne back in my fingers. The weird feel. That means it's time for a Cathedral Ward, and the game opens up a bit here. Personally, I'm an old Yharnam first kind of guy. Can you imagine grinding up echoes just for a key to open a gate? That would take forever. There's a warning on the door.
That sign can't stop me because I can't read.
What a neat room full of pots. Hopefully nothing here explodes. Oh no! Yeah, it's the Gatling gun hunter, and it's gonna be a wicked big problem. You have to fight him in a tight area, so it can be hard to hold space. Thankfully though, he dies because he tries defying gravity. Grab the ritual blood we could use to make the cum chalice, but we're not doing that. For those unaware, chalice dungeons are bad, not fun. It's an online component of the game where FromSoft sends you through wacky mazes that have mid-bosses at the end, and it all just feels like filler content they decided wasn't good enough for the base game, but also felt bad because, someone worked hard on that. Basically, it's every non-legacy dungeon in Elden Ring. It is a drawing you put up on the fridge and pat your team on the back. There is one dungeon unlocked with the code CUM or whatever. It is lovingly referred to as the cum chalice. For some reason, you walk in, something dies somewhere in the dungeon, and you automatically get 80,000 echoes. You can use it to max out your character level pretty fast and then just kind of roll the game. I am banning cum from this and potentially other Bloodborne runs, though maybe I can use it to buy vials and bullets. Farming those sucks. Not for this run though, because I sold the thing I need to make it. Whoops. Bloodstarved Beast looks like, well, it looks like she's had a rough couple of years. Let's go with that. Here, the Blades of Mercy can really show off how bad they are. Remember, we can punish with a couple of hits, but not more than 2 to 3 at a time. The individual damage has been turned so far down to compensate for the speed that makes every fight take forever. Oh, also, they have very slight arcane damage, which doesn't add up to diddly shit. They're basically pure skill weapons. What it does do is prevent you from buffing them with things like fire paper. Again, I think this is to balance them because their speed with a flat buff for hit would be quite good. But when you take that away, they just kinda don't do anything. Second try on the Bloodstarved Beast, things go better. We at least get past phase 2, where it starts spraying its poison everywhere, and into phase 3, where just standing next to it inflicts you with poison. What is it, a Black Myth Wukong fan? I'm kidding, of course. I would never stand next to one of you degenerates. We have a lot of antidotes, and boy howdy, do we need them. The Blades of Mercy make this an endurance fight. Really should have bought a gun. It makes the fight so much easier when you just parry her and reach into her, waffles. With her defeated, we can go to the Chalices, but I don't want to do that. Apparently, that's actually how you make the Blades of Mercy work. You farm gems after researching the challenge dungeons to figure out where to get a +7 damp, tempering, undulating, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious ennui gem. Not doing that. If the weapon needs that to be good, it's not as good as the saw cleaver, which is just good by leveling it up. I'd say it's the same bait that spell enjoyers fall for in Elden Ring, but spells in this game are actually pretty fun. I've done that run. Instead, we'll cowabunga, grab the doll set for later, and the Old Hunter's Bone. Old Hunter's Bone, yeah, why do you think he made the doll? Then go to the elevator and crank that gate like I'm Soldier Boy, the rapper. Not the one from The Boys. This is also the point where we unlock the next level of upgrade materials. I love using Bloodstone shards, playing games that are hard, making Eileen win. But if you like sexy ladies, you need to head to Hemwick Lane. Woke companies won't even make games with attractive women in them anymore. Meanwhile, the Bloodborne developers made a whole area full of hot witches in a game for gamers who can rock their dual sense single-handed. You've heard of the FromSoft Claw? Well, it ain't from turning the camera. Wandering through this area unlocks the true waifu bait for all those waifu baiters, the Witches of Hemwick. I've done enough phrenology research to realize that their globular and canthal tilts are perfect. Looking like the back end of a lobster covered in barnacles is truly the most stimulating of character designs. I think I had a stroke writing this and reading that session, and not in the way that you gamers are normally stroking.
If you know what I'm talking about.
I really hope none of you know what I'm talking about, and I am the only one of us who is so permanently online that I do. Next goal, get grabbed by the Yahar'gulies. There's a little bagman outside since we beat the Bloodstarved Beast. If he kills us, we get a sneak peek at Yahar'gul. It's about 3 areas ahead of where we should normally be. That means better items to either upgrade our stuff or to sell. That would give us money to upgrade our stuff. There is a boss here, we'll come back for it a bit later. Currently our Blades of Mercy are a little too mercy and not enough blade. So let's take it to Vicar Amelia and even use that Old Hunter's Bone a little bit. I think it's purely decorative. I am sure it improves your rolls or whatever, but to me it looks like it's cosmetic and it wastes bullets. Either that or Amelia has wacky hitboxes. Eventually I figured out it was more of the latter. There's like wind boxes on the follow-ups of her attacks, as though the breeze created by her swings also hurts. Okay, I stab myself to heal, but yeah, 30-mile-an-hour winds, that'll fuck you up. With the saw cleaver, we would have just won, but these are tickle sticks. I've done so many runs through this game. I've tried Flame Sprayer to Nitrous, Ludwig's Holy Blade, Moonlight Dank Sword, Kirkhammer, my beloved. Hell, I even tried the Threaded Cane. These are the worst by far. From what I gather, they're better in PvP and with proper gems, but I'm not doing PvP. I'm not farming for gems. Basically, I'm not giving them a fair shake. But maybe it's because we were focusing on vitality first. They have big scaling in dex, so once we focus on dex, they'll be a bit better.
I doubt it, but you never know.
It's not all that bad. Vicar Amelia takes us 15 minutes. I just feel like it should have been a first try win. Considering I haven't played Bloodborne in a year or two. 15 minutes for Amelia is fine. Mostly I'm just worried about some bosses later if we're struggling with this early stuff. 4 Biden wins. Yeah, you thought there wouldn't be politics in the Bloodborne video? Well, guess what? There is. Bloodborne's story boils down to men wouldn't leave women alone when they didn't want to be touched, and men are monsters because of it. But also, wouldn't it suck to live in London? 2 political takes. And the last one's common sense. I'm sneaking around to the back door of the sick house to get our invitation to Cainhurst's castle. We're upgrading our weapons again. Bloodborne isn't as open as Elden Ring, but you can still get a little bit out of order to get your weapons upgraded early. Cainhurst is my favorite level in the game. The vibes are immaculate. There is so much to loot, especially when you're doing a blood tinge build. God, Evelyn build. Oh, with high blood tinge and the bone marrow ash, so fun. Throw in the Chikage, delicious. Oh yeah, I've done that run too, with the Richter Palash as well. Oh, and Rikuyo. I did Rikuyo too. I've really been through this game a lot. Yeah, Blades of Mercy have some competition, and they are not they're not getting bronze. Let's just say that. With all the chunkies from the manor, I decide that we can try out Darkbeast Paarl, though it's less of a dank beast and more of a camera beast, jumping all around and spraying electricity everywhere. I was worried the Blades of Mercy would be too stumpy to keep up with the legs. I was right. They are. Thankfully, this is just a DPS test, and with our weapons cranked to chunky levels, we can break his bones pretty fast, then hit him on the ground and chain it all together. Skill also affects how much damage your visceral attacks do, so when we do get crits, they're meaty. Couple cracks at it, and we break down the Bone Boy. You know where there are more upgrade materials? The DLC! How bad could the DLC be early? Yeah, okay, maybe if you're a baby, but I am the DLC Whisperer. DLC. Yeah, it was pretty cool, right? DLC ASMR. We specifically are looking for the Gatling Hunter cave, with the Gatling Hunter who is doing a bad job. My guy, you're surrounded by beasts. There is a freaking blood-starved beast here. Why are you going for me? I'm the Hunter. You're the Beast Hunter. We've been to one nightmare, yes, but what about a second nightmare? Well, thanks to the tonsil stone we got from Patches, we can open up this door in Cathedral Ward. Wait, Patches lied to us?
Everybody betrayed me. I fed up with this world.
Nightmare Frontier time. This is maybe my least favorite area. Not the hardest, just the one that's like, where am I? Everything looks pretty samey around here. Found the Winter Lantern and died. Second attempt, I found the right way to go, get our chunks and get out. Not fighting Amygdala yet. That sounds really bad without a weapon. Also sounds bad saying Amygdala, but that is how Patches says it, so I'm guessing it's right. I want to say amygdala, because that's what the word is, but Amygdala, sure. What boss sounds good with a stumpy weapon though? Really? Bloodborne bosses never have me looking at them and saying, damn, wish I could get closer to that thing. Time for Weathertop. It's the Shadows of Yharnam, and it's going well until it doesn't and the flame sprayer stun locks us to death. Whoopsies. This is a big, long run back. I think there is a second closer elevator, but I never learned where it is, mostly because the shadows are generally another one-try wonder for me. Everyone can do their snake foursome the way they like. Personally, I like to start with the solo sorter, since he's got the most health and takes the longest to kill. Keeps them in phase 2 and 3 for less time. This is another fight that would have gone better with the gun. Then I did the flame sprayer one next instead of doing just the fireball guy. Whoops, wasn't trying to do that. This last phase with the giant snakes though, it's mesmerizing.
Say that again?
On our way to Rom, we have to fight the Scholar, and boy, if NPCs were annoying in Elden Ring, they're also annoying in Bloodborne. They have endless amounts of HP. It feels like trying to beat a rock with a butter knife. They're also dumb like rocks though, so it balances out. Rom can be handled in two ways. Hit the small spiders slowly and safely like a coward, or just bum rush her like a goddamn hero. This is what we have vials for, right cats? Dive in and get the win. I suck at Rom, mostly because I feel like it's a die roll and I'm bad at rolling dice. But this time it went well. Now it's nighttime, and that's the right time for Eileen to shine.
He did what in his...
Oh, Yahar'gul, how I missed you. Missed isn't the right word. Wasn't in you for a bit? Sounds worse. Bloodborne really is a great game, but it's also a game that I hate every section of individually somehow. It's really a package deal, and who doesn't love looking at a nice package? The one Reborn is like if Tower Knight from Demon Souls came to work but forgot his skin. There's a bunch of snipers you can take out, and I genuinely do. They could stun lock you into an attack from the Human Centipede final sequence, and that just won't do for me. He also just kinda kicks and screams like a newborn because, you know, he is. The moon just pooped him out, and now we're hitting him. Every time you die, get ready to run back. It's not Elden Ring. We die a few times. We finally get a good run just whacking the limbs. Sorry, it's all limbs, so I guess the appendages made of limbs? Eventually you just gotta commit and remember that you can rally. That's what the rallying is for. Now we're in the Hunter's Nightmare, I think is what this called. Is that the DLC? There's the Nightmare Frontier. That's where Amygdala is. We're at Mergo's house. That's what I'm trying to say. First, we have to get past her bodyguard Mikolash, and like, we lost to Mikolash?
You must be so embarrassed
Not even just once, multiple times. We are one blood rock away from maxing these weapons out. Each hit still does less than 200 damage. The longer you're in a fight, the longer you have to get cheesed, and Call Beyond, it's pretty cheesy. This fight is much better in Nightmare Cart, let's be honest. It's just rough, knowing that the 3 starting weapons are a lot better than the one I spent 2 hours farming for. Mikolash takes like 25 minutes. That sucks. I guess it's good that this build isn't very good, because if this video does well and we can make more Bloodborne secret starting classes, we'll have a nice floor on the tier list. Now we get to go get some brain, but first we have to do the madness path. Not the brain ladies, just getting off the stupid elevator shortcut. We fall so many times. Then we get to do the winter lanterns. It's like getting punched in the stomach on the way to the getting kicked in the mouth convention. Bloodrock acquired, now these knives are the best they'll ever be. If I was a monster in Yhar'gul, I'd be very scared right now. The tickle monster has perfected their tickling machine. Let's hit up Cathedral Ward. After a brief fight with 2 legally distinct mind flayers, we can get the make contact gesture, which will help us out with the brain. This is also where we get to fight one of my favorite bosses in the game, the Celestial Emissary. A lot of people don't like crowd boss fights, but I do. It's fun to get out your big old whacking mallet, start going to town on all the goobers. Let's get our mallet out. Oh, yeah, we don't have a mallet. We have tickle sticks. Bummer. It goes fine. I'm not losing to the Celestial Emissary. I have standards. Back to Mergo's loft with a gesture in hand, we drop down to the darkest depths and say hi to Mother Brain. She's serving and we're stretching that make contact pose for like 3 full minutes. That gives us the best moon rune and the most extra echoes we can get when we kill things. We might not be good, but you can be damn sure we'll be extra. Might as well hit Amygdala next. We gotta clear the extra bosses out eventually. This is certainly one of them. It's basically Flowey from Shadow of the Erdtree, except way better. First phase, I'm waiting for it to put its head down. It takes way more damage on the face, but when he rips off his limbs to be drumsticks, it's toe time. And wow, we do tickle those toes. The damage falls off immensely. I guess we could still try baiting the head, but there are way more attacks that can kill us than feels worth it. Just trade by tickling toes. The next actual hard boss is Ibritas, and looks like I spoke too soon when I said the witches were the sexiest boss in the game. Good lord, how about a little modesty? I know the game's M-rated, but I'm supposed to fight when I'm so unfathomably aroused. Our first strategy is to try and bait the head. It doesn't go well. This lady hits really hard, and we don't. What else is new? But the trick to fighting her is to just live your dream and give Ibritas the back shots. Yeah, by just sticking to the booty, we clear it out super easy. All the eye contact was throwing us off, probably because of all the extra eyes. I guess now we have to make progress since there's no more optional bosses.
They forgot about me.
Time for Mergo's wet nurse, who has no booba, but a lot of swords, which makes me think this baby ain't slurping up milk, but rather a little human fruit punch. This is the funniest potential final boss in FromSoft history, because you can clear it so easily by walking to the left. Normal attacks, walk left. Big cloud of nurses, walk left for like 3 minutes. Oh, this is where they got the idea for every Elden Ring boss. It's really just Plassey and Radon, but you get what I'm saying. That's technically the base game beaten. If I want to surrender to Gehrman, I won't do that. Instead, let's go to the DLC. Surely, that will go fine.
It's kind of a big deal. It's finally back with as much shrimp as you want, any way you want them.
Oh, but before we make it to Red Lobster, we need to hit up the Cursed Pony Club. Chapel Roan? More like, run the feck away from this chapel. Ludwig the Accursed is a big old pony boy, and it starts off rough. It continues to be rough in the middle, but it ends rough. It's rough the whole way through. In Shadow of the Erdtree, the hardest boss is obviously Radon, but the other hard bosses like Mesmer and Gaius are probably a little bit into the DLC for you. But for the Bloodborne DLC, they're like, here's the second hardest boss. You sure you want to keep playing? Yeah, there's definitely one harder than this, but Ludwig is such a bucking bronco. Figuring out when he's attacking, when he's not attacking, where he's attacking, and how the hell you survive his attacks is a struggle. He's also one of my favorite bosses of all time. I freaking love this dude. Phase 2 is actually easier, in my opinion. Fuck. Okay, bad example, but it is. I'm actually pretty good at phase 2. Just gotta get through phase 1. That's the tricky part. He dashes across the arena a lot, making me sprint to get in, which makes me jump when I try to dodge. It's annoying. Our goal is to just stick to one leg, break it, and then hit the other leg, then break that one. Get big combos while he's down for a second. One of my favorite things about this fight isn't the music. It's how people say they love the music. But dog, what music?
like our yells.
Imagine going to the opera when someone in the third row is currently butchering a live horse with no anesthesia. Why no anesthesia? Well, he's a doctor and he's operating. Takes about half an hour, but we get it to click. Wait, that's how long it took to beat Mikolash. Oh god, that's even more embarrassing now. Break the legs and hit the mad taint. Some strats are classic for a reason. Break the other leg, and after a little bucking bronco, thank god he missed us with that jump. He wants to hit the Hawk Tua, but I'm not buying crypto, so we just jump out of the way. Phase 2 starts and we get in tight. Until he does the circular shockwave, you can just keep dodging into the front and side of him, and all those dank moon greatsword attacks will just miss you. Well, most of them will miss you. Some of them will miss you. Some of them miss you. Yeah, that's the one. Huge stance break. We go for the visceral. Then he does the dummy slam that just leaves him open to several spankings from our tickle sticks. We get another stance break, then finish it with a nice visceral attack. For style points, his head flew all the way over here, and now he's whispering? I guess after all that screaming, Ludwig is a little hoarse.
It's a rare condition this day and age.
So I goofed and forgot to get the elevator key, which means Vicar Amelia gets to kill us again. This time she's not even a sexy deer monster. She's just like a human woman. Yuck. We've got to go back to the first area and run past the big stupid squid. You just don't have to deal with him. Just skip him. Get the key and then go fight Martyr Logarius. Yeah, forgot about that dude. We do have a pistol, so we can parry. Can and will are different words though, and I am embarrassing myself, failing to parry my favorite boss in this game. The boss that you're supposed to parry. I'm remembering to shoot the stake when he drops it, but yeah, we're just whiffing left and right. Probably because the rest of the run I didn't use parries. I'm just sloppy on these sticks. Parry everything that can be parried, gamers. It's the best, most fun way to play this game. We're gonna need some practice though, because after taking out what would be the executioner of the Vile Bloods, we're heading right to their would-be princess. It's the hospital level, and everything's slimy and a little confusing. Really do love the vibes here though. It's a cool level to get lost in. Living failures are the biggest pushovers of the DLC, so naturally, we suck. Yeah, we flop against them and they flop into the ground. Sound like a broken record, but our damage is so bad. Metaphorically, the saw cleaver is a magnum, firing off pretty slow, but doing serious damage when it lands. We have an Uzi, but we replaced the bullets with Nerf darts. When we do beat the living failures, we get 3 comet rains in one fight. I didn't know that could happen more than once, but that's how long it takes. It happens 3 times, not even just a second time. It happens 3 times. We're that slow. Immediately after we get to fight Maria, and thankfully there's an easy solution here. Parry her. Just parry her and get crits. Which really doesn't mean that the Blades of Mercy are good. It means that an unupgraded hunter pistol is good. She'll start her swords on fire, she can spray her blood everywhere, but if we can hit L2, she isn't going to be that bad. Living failures took longer.
What is going on?
Fishing Hamlet. I'm not stopping to pick anything up. We are just running through. I do not want to be shark food. I do want to take out Laurence. So we got to take the elevator up, drop it down, grab his head and deliver it for a fight against a guy who can't stop shitting and farting and throwing up. And it's all on fire and it makes being close to him a nightmare. So with the tickle sticks, you want to guess how that goes? Did you guess fine? Cause I didn't. And it was. That's good. Neat. Yeah, okay. I'm down for a free win. That wasn't even very hard. Limb damage came in clutch and we just kind of ran around in a circle. But I'm not worried about Larry or Mary or Ludwig Gary. I'm worried about one guy named, well, he doesn't have a name. Why not? Because he's an orphan of Kos.
It's a rare condition this day and age.
The windows to hit this little baby boy and his shrimpy arm are so small, Winnie the Pooh would get stuck in them. 3 hits is almost never safe. It is 2 or less, and even though we've hit the hard cap for skill, we're doing less than 200 damage per hit. It is pathetic. I know he can be parried, but dog, how do you parry the human sona of a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing Tupan? Turns out, after some practice, it's actually not all that bad. Ellie's not in phase 1. Each crit does a little bit less than 1700 damage, meaning we need a total of 11 parries to kill him, or 10 and some change. It should round to 10, so I'm just gonna count to 10. And to be totally honest, parrying him is not really that bad at all in phase 1. In phase 1, there are several great parry moves. The overhead slam, more like the you're dead fam. The wind up for yo-yo time, more like wind up for yo you got shot time. Phase 2, on the other hand, is so full of moves that aren't parryable. Orphan also stops jumping around like a cat that hopped in the shower, more like a rat on cocaine in a lube factory. Several of his moves are designed to take your lock-on away, which is pretty important if you want to parry him and not parry the air. there 50 feet away from him. All of his ranged AoEs, including the placenta bombs and the lightning, don't offer parry windows, and he really likes those attacks. If you're next to him when he calls out for the lightning, you can punish him, but I don't want to be next to him because I want to live. We have to live through the fight. Weird thing I noticed while we were flopping against Orphan for a long time, we switched our runes away from the experience gaining ones and to the buff ones, because there are technically 2 bosses we have to do after this, but yeah, I don't think we need to grind more to beat those. Those will be fine. We're using the Blood Rapture rune, which heals you when you get a visceral attack, and for some reason, in phase 1, we heal way more. I don't know why, but we do. After about 5 hours, we finally get it to click. We're starting off with 5 extra bullets and a little health missing, because we'll get all of that back on our first parry with the weird extra healing from parries. Parry number 1. It really does turn into a waiting game. A lot of his attacks are parryable, but I definitely prefer the big yo-yo one because that's number 2 as well. Number 3 comes from the big yo-yo one, and I'm just realizing the cut down portion of the first half of this fight is just going to be sort of me landing parries. Whoops. Hitting him with regular attacks just does not matter. It is not worth the risk of trying to do it. We get number 4 and then number 5 back to back. Maybe he's got a few more attacks before we hit phase 2. Yeah, or not. This is the Chaos Zone, and I'm just trying to stay at full health and randomly fire as he dives in. It doesn't work great. Whenever he calls the lightning, we can get a few free hits off, depending on how close he is to us. Oh, and sometimes we get the parry. But we miss the visceral. Those are important, Eileen. More lightning, more free damage. You'd really think free hits would be doing a little bit more, but I guess not, because the Blades of Mercy, I mean, they're living up to their name. They're merciful. I'm just always making sure we're at full health. We started phase 2 with almost all of our flasks left. Might as well use them. Stray hits are the only thing we're getting done until one last crit pulls us through. Endless Shrimp is over. But the Endless Night is still going. Gehrman is one of the harder bosses of the game, especially for me, but compared to Orphan of Kos, he's like tying your shoes. And the Orphan of Kos is like tying your shoes with your butthole. He's so aggressive and forgivably parryable, you can really just kind of shoot him, and enough of your 20 bullets will parry him that you'll win. We died the first time because I forgot the Praise the Moon attack was not just a buff up and has a big shockwave after it. A little embarrassing, but I'm not too worried about it. Second try, we get it done, and it wasn't even close. We still have plenty of flasks left for the Elden Beast. Oh, 0? Yeah, that wasn't gonna go well, was it? Doesn't take much on our third try. I love the Moon Presence move, where it just nukes your HP, but then stands still so you can rally. It's throwing, for sure, but it's pretty fun. So, should you play through the game as Eileen? Of course. Most of you play on the PC with mods, right? So just mod in some good gems, save yourself the time of farming them, and they'll be great. If you're weird, like me, and you play on a PlayStation console for some reason, playing as Eileen sucks. Don't do it. It takes forever to start, and then it's still bad. The Blades of Mercy are so short. The damage is bad. I've seen so many reviews online where people are like, you know, the dodging R2 is actually pretty darn good. Yeah, you know what move is good on the saw cleaver? R1, R2. Transform attack, transformed R1, transformed strong attack. Every attack on the saw cleaver is good. One attack on the Blades of Mercy is good. Well, then that can saw con D's nuts. D tier. Your armor looks nice though. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. I would love to make more Bloodborne videos, but you know, this video's gotta do well. Otherwise, we're probably just gonna go back to doing more Elden Ring. So hey, if you have friends who like Bloodborne, show them this video. Join the Patreon to support the channel. That's the best place to do it. It's also where you get to vote in the polls, join the Discord. I've been playing Marvel Rivals with people in the Discord. So, you know, if you want to play Marvel Rivals, hop on there. Subscribe to Tulok Time. That's where we're going to be playing a bunch of different games. I think I might make a Marvel Rivals video. Not sure exactly actually what the next video is going to be because holiday break. And also I think I have strep throat again. And finally, Tulok the Card Bearer, and that's where the Magic the Gathering lives. Bye-bye.